What's up, everybody? Adam here with eTrailer. Today I have my boat and I wanted to put a cover on. Today we're taking a look at the classic accessories boat cover. There are two things we want to look at when you're trying to find the right cover for your boat. You want to measure from the very front of your boat to the very back, not including the motor, and then at its widest point, you also want to measure that. That's going to help you figure out which cover is going to fit the best. This is a waterproof cover that is going to keep your boat dry, and it's perfect for long-term or short-term storage. The material is a DryGuard fabric. It's PVC free, waterproof, and it's going to resist against weather, also the mildew and the UV rays. So you're not going to have your boat fading, and the cover isn't going to fade either. We're going to have 11 different straps, one in the center in the front, and then 5 on each side. So as you can see, it's plenty of straps to be able to keep the cover nice and sucked up to the boat so the wind isn't going to catch it or anything. It's about 1 inch in diameter, and you really get a good tug on it, and it's nice because whenever we're done you can just unclip it. So some of them aren't really like that, but this one is. So you can pull that nice and tight. Also notice down here we have a elastic band, which there's no adjustments to it, which I actually like. There's some other ones on our site where you go to the back and you pull it. This one's already there, it's already tight. I really did appreciate that. Also with our seams, they're double stitched. You don't have to worry about those pulling apart whenever they are pulled on and stretched. Also they tape it so the water's not going to seep in. We have a vent on each side which has little holes in it, and that's just going to allow the air to kind of flow through there just to keep the moisture down to a minimum, especially after a long day on the water. You want to make sure it's going to breathe. This will let it breathe. Also with your windshields, your bow, your stern, in the corners, we have an extra layer of protection just to make sure it's not going to puncture through our cover. One thing that it doesn't come with is a little rod to go in the middle to kind of lift up the whole entire cover, just because water will pool up here. I've seen boats that it happens with, and it's just not good. One, it starts to mold over time, and also the mosquitoes love it. We want to prevent against that, and it's just really hard to kind of get all that water out of your boat when it's on the cover. So definitely recommend grabbing something like this so you can loft up the middle, just so you don't have to worry about that water pooling up or anything like that. Definitely something you want to grab. One thing I like about this cover compared to the other ones on our site is the straps are connected already, so you don't have to worry about storing them, losing them, yada yada yada. Also, one thing that I would say I don't necessarily love about this is, which it's nitpicky, is the fact that it doesn't come with a little rod in the middle. Other ones do, but at the end of the day, all you have to do is just add that to your cart. Another thing to add to the cart is a motor cover, just because that's kind of the bread and butter of this thing. A boat's not really going to do a whole lot but float without the motor. So cover this thing as well to keep it nice and safe from the elements. It was a pretty quick and easy install, so stick around. We're going to show you how we did it. Right when you get the cover out of the box, just pay attention to how it's rolled up, because it's always prettiest when you pull it out of the box first. So we want to mimic that the best we can whenever we put it away. We have a little bow right here. Pull that, it should come off. So it seems as if they're rolling this out with the bottom of the cover on this side. And then after that, folds a couple of times. Just like this. So yeah, most of the bottom section seems to be right around there. So then we can go ahead and just kind of get this thing spread out a little bit. You do want to find this tag that says front. So that's what we're going to put to the front of the boat. So find that first. And that is something you really want to do. This doesn't have to be a two-man job. But what we can do is kind of just have this placed right there and start to work the cover around a little bit. So make sure everything really fits, just to avoid any really sharp edges, and if there is any, you want to pat it up a little bit. What I'm going to do here before I put the whole cover on is I'm going to take this front little buckle and loop it around my trailer and make it nice and tight. Not too tight, but just enough just to make sure that the cover's not going to come disconnected whenever I'm tugging it that way. So then we can just get it around this first little front section, making sure that all these straps stay outside. And then notice kind of what I did. I kind of rolled this whole entire cover up. So now I can start to kind of roll it out and get it stretched to where I need it. And then just work your way around. This is definitely a one-man job. Stretch it all the way back. And it's probably a decent idea to maybe tie another one of these up just so it doesn't shift around on us, so we get it perfectly where we want it. There's a couple different ways you can do this. It just depends on your boat and your trailer. The goal here is to get our straps to the trailer or the boat. So if you do have some excess strap, what I ended up doing is just going to the opposite side, especially here on the narrower part of our trailer. So that kind of worked. This is also working pretty well. Some of the straps aren't long enough to go to the other side, so I just put them right down here. It's not gonna fully cover the bottom, but I'm not really worried about that. This thing sees water on the water, so I'm not really worried about that getting wet. But then if you come over here, in the middle of my boat, I actually took this strap, ran it over to that side of the trailer frame. It's basically this post, but over there, and vice versa, which really gives you a nice and tight fit. So that's ideal. I'm really happy about that. And then moving on back, it got a little bit wider back here, so we just went down to where our bunks mount to our trailer. And if you do end up having a lot of excess, what you could do is just cut it, but then take a little lighter and get the frays a little melted so they don't start fraying. And then moving on to the back, this isn't gonna be for your motor. I like to have a separate cover for my motor, and it fits pretty well. So if you're looking for a motor cover, just measure it, go on our website. We're gonna have those as well. And then we have a couple in the back, and that just goes down to the frame, nice and easy. And what I really do like about these is the straps are already connected, unlike some of the others on our site. I like that a lot. A very simple thing to do to protect your boat for the winter or just the weekend. And that's pretty much it for our look at the classic accessories boat covers.